Yo, check my status, no platinum plaques, just platinum fatness. No strings attached with no acrobats, doing strikers, yes. Relax, no skinny jeans, shirtless, worthless. Cash out, hung y'all heads down when they stole your crown, but I want it back. I got to have it, like a rabbit do to them carrots. When I see it, man, I'm a
man, y'all already know what time it is when y'all see this shit right here. Y'all know what's going down. We back with another review video, man. Y'all know what time it is. I ain't done one in about a week. I dropped two back to back, man. We did the Air Sixes and we did Gray 11s and how iconic those shoes are. Now we back with one of the most iconic Jordans ever made.
Right around. 8 points for Jordan. Almost stolen by Johnson. Now here comes Jordan. Look out! Oh my! The finger roll from Michael. Well, you can see the anticipation of this crowd with Jordan. Yes. Now it's 16. What an outstanding.
The number 5s, man. We got the Racer Blue number 5. Racer Blue number 5, bro. Cannot see without see. Make this shoe is so iconic, man. It was just something different about this shoe. And granted, this wasn't the original release. The original release was they had the gray and the silver around there. They had the red trimming up here. They had the red on it, the red Jumpman on the tongue. So it was black and red, pretty much black and gray. So this is a remake, which is one of the finest remakes I ever seen in the blue, called the Racer Blue. So, but this shoe is just iconic, man, because I remember when this shoe dropped around maybe 1990, 1991 of a dope shoe, because I remember I couldn't afford them back then. You know, it was only a handful of people that I knew back then that could actually cop a pair back then. So it's like when you saw them, they were so rare till you just had to stare at them when you got a chance.
Change after he stops on the dime. 5 to shoot. Michael out high against Robertson. Fade away at the foul line. Nail in the coffin. And into Jordan. Michael comes down. Right in the lane. Lean in. Hanger. Good.
And this particular shoe, man, I'll never forget when I saw they was on a partner of my foot and I saw the sun hit the tongue, and that's what make these shoes so dope. Is when the sun actually hits the tongue casts off a reflection of light, and that's what make these shoes so iconic. But when this shoe came out, you know, and like I said, 1990, 89, 90, this was like Jordan was really just coming off of one of the most, if not the most greatest single season by any player in NBA history. And that was in 1988. So he was just coming off, and those was with the number 4s and the number 3s before that. But this shoe, man, he was just coming off of one of the most explosive single seasons performance by any player. It's why I don't understand the comparisons, because the season before these came out, I mean, the guy won Slam Dunk. He won, and I'm gonna say that video, but I'm just saying he came off of an incredible season, man, that hasn't been duplicated since. It probably never be duplicated. But anyway, this shoe was so iconic. He was still putting up big numbers. Even that year when he was wearing it, I felt that they had a real good chance to win the title, but they still couldn't get past the Detroit Bad Boys. We know that. So because Jordan was already, he was on a different level when he first came to the league. But they didn't send him star player. Let's understand that. He had to grow. They gave him, and I remember this, a lot of young cats, they don't know nothing about this stuff, man. So they actually think Scottie Pippen was a superstar on another team, but he wasn't. He was a drafted player who they told Jordan, if you want to win titles, You got to take these guys, these drafted players, and you got to make them good enough to win titles. And he did just that. And Scottie Pippen was one of the ones that he did that with. So I thought that year that that was the year that they were going to win a title. But they still didn't win that year. They got beat by the Detroit Pistons. It was the following year. It was the year after that. You know, you could say it was, it was the following year when they won the title in 1991. So it was with the number 6s that he won the title. But these number 5s was just so dope, man, because I said, let's get into the shoe actually. They hit the little net, which was really kind of, I think we seen something similar on the 4, the shoe that was before this one, where it hit the little mesh, the little net on the side, of the shoe. And it had the kind of the lightning, what we call lightning on the side, and the bottom was just iconic itself because they had the clear bottom with the Jordan Man at the bottom of the shoe. Made this shoe so crazy. Of course, when they brought it back now, they put it in suede. It wasn't suede then; it was leather. And the shoe just was crazy, man. It had the little shoestring pin on it. The shoe now, I haven't wore these shoes yet, but I have had a 5 before, and it got a round toe cut to it, but it's not tight on your feet. The shoe got a little width to it, which kind of give your foot a little, as you move around, it's not tight on your foot. Now, one thing I liked about the shoe back then, and they didn't bring something out, since, but I like the Nike Air on the shoe better. That's the only thing, man. I like Nike Air on the Jordan better because it just give it that OG original stamp, because when it came out back then, that's what it had, Nike Air on the back. So that's the only thing that I would, kind of really say that I would rather still prefer the Nike Air on the back. But overall, man, the shoe is just a dope shoe. You just can't take away from it. Just an iconic shoe. It's funny because they make them. The shoe was really considered bulky a little back then, but the cut of this shoe is just so amazing and so crazy. That's what makes it one of the best Jordans ever made. I don't know if y'all can see it has the Air Jordan inside the actual tongue. And that's what made the shoe actually dope also. Yeah, these shoes, man, I like the overall style. I like the cut. I like them when he wore them. I was always a guy that when I did buy the Jordans, I only bought the ones he wore in the game. Like, they had to be the Chicago Bulls. I never used to like to buy a Jordan that wasn't Chicago Bulls color. But I eventually got off into doing that because they came out with some crazy colors. Even with this, it's the blue, the racer blue. And I still want the original ones though. For some reason, man, the original ones was crazy. I want the white ones also that had the black tone with the red trim on. I think I'm gonna get those with the 23 on the side. But overall, man, this shoe is so iconic because this was the first shoe that I seen with a reflecting tongue on it. Y'all might saw one, that before these back then. I can't recall one that had a reflecting tongue on it when the sun hit it. The tongue, it glows. First shoe I ever seen like that. And the shoe was just iconic because he was coming out pretty much the most explosive, like I said, single season by any player in history. It never be duplicated. It hasn't been duplicated. Probably never be duplicated again. Review on that. And anything y'all think I should do a review on, any shoe, even if I don't got it, I'll still do a review on it with highlights to kind of, give y'all a little visual of what I'm talking about, like what I'm doing with this one. But this shoe was just iconic, man. He was on a mission that year. I really thought that was the season that he was going to win the title. Came pretty close, but he didn't win. But man, this shoe is iconic. Leave me a comment. Let me know what y'all think about the Jordan 5, period, not just the racer blue. But give me your thoughts on the racer blue, man. Are you feeling this racer blue? or what? If you feeling this race of blue, let me know. You know what I'm saying? If you got a pair, let me know. And let me know what your thoughts on it. The shoe is overall dope. It's comfortable on your feet, not tight on your feet. I just love this shoe, man. So leave me comments, subscribe. Until next time.